Hello everyone, Reggie Time here with an impromptu 25L party poker fast forward video. The reason for the video is I was messaged earlier on Facebook by a gentleman who I've done some work with called John, thoroughly nice chap, and he asked me if I had anything in the pipeline as he's going on night shift tonight, and I didn't. Then the wife went out and I thought, fuck it, let's make a video just for John. So this one is literally just for you, John. I hope you enjoy it, sir, and I hope everyone else enjoys it too. We're going to be playing probably about a 45-minute session, and yeah, fingers crossed we get lucky, we win a few dollars, and if we don't, John, you owe me the balance of whatever I lose. Okie dokie, sir, and we'll leave it there. Enjoy the video. So here we go with the session. Let's hope John doesn't cost me some money with his request. Let's see if we can't book a win. I've already played some hands to try and because I don't play on this site very often, although I think I probably should play here more, to try and build up some hands on the players that are unknowns to me. I played a few hundred hands before we started. It still doesn't really seem to have done that much good. There seems to be, the pool's pretty big at the minute. There's lots of players that I have very little data on, so yeah, I didn't really have time to play much more before the session to try and get some more hands on people. So we've got what we've got basically. Pretty easy fold to someone who's currently playing 16-12. 12x is my 3x under the gun open. Probably going to play for around 45 minutes, something like that. Give John something to do on the night shift. Although he probably shouldn't be time stealing from his employer. His employer isn't paying him to listen to boring northern nits talk about poker on the internet. I'm going to 3-bet this small open, just too small. I want to try and punish people who are opening that size. From early position, I think it's a fine open size from late position, but I think from early position it's a bit I don't think you're doing yourself many favours by opening that small from early position. You're just inviting people to fuck with you in various ways. Not ready to fold the pocket fives just yet. Pair and a flush draw. We could c-bet here, but I think we could also check and try and realise our equity, which is what I'm going to do. I'm going to call again here and I think fold the river. Although the river's not helping us find the fold button really, is it? When he bets that size it's really quite an easy fold, I think. I'm just going to let it go. He is not representing very much there, but I'm sure I can find better spots to bluff catch than that. I'm going to keep checking with my pair, gut shot, backdoor flush draw on table 2. Don't need to blow the pot up. Now we have trips, which can make a small value bet. Hope he pays it off with ace high or some kind of pair. He did pay us off. What did he show? Ace 6, so he did just pay us off with ace high. A very rare limped pot. We flop an open ender on a dry board. Potentially going to check raise here. $33.8 in the big blind, so we're going to use 75 cents as our sizing, rather than our usual steel sizing of 2.3 big blinds. That's just to try and exploit the potential weaker player in the big blind by just forcing him to pay more to see a flop, basically. Not going to open the small pair some under the gun. Not going to open the small suited connector some under the gun. Basically small and under the gun, and not really anything that I want to be doing a lot of. Small raises, small pairs, small suited connectors. Not really interested in any of them. I'm going to 3-bet this 6-8 suited. We're going to defend the ace jack to the 3-bet. Could have 4-bet it as a bluff, but I think we just opened the door for him to just jam on us, which I've been experiencing quite a lot lately. When I've been 4-bet bluffing in position, we find myself getting jammed on a lot, so don't we want to open the door to that when I've got a hand as strong as ace jack. And we see we're just peeling the flop c-bet with the gut shot on the overcard. We're just going to blitz now. If he doesn't have anything, then we're not going to win a big pot anyway, but we don't want to be seeing any like bad cards coming off on rivers. If he does have an ace king or something, we don't want to give him too much chance of it to get away from his hand. Perfect river. Obviously we're just going to slam all the money in and hope he calls. No need to raise here on table 2 with the pair and flush draw. I think we will raise the turn though. Should we just jam? I think we just jam, do we? No, in fact no, we'll just call. And we'll risk a bad river coming off, which it has, which is kind of unfortunate. Still going to jam at this point, I think. And on table 1, our opponent looked at it with King 10 in that other hand, which is nice. Not going to lie, it was pretty pleasant. Aha, here's my friend, Mr. Well, I'm not going to say his name, but I would say I've done more work with this fellow here than I've done the DMG, what's his face, and any other poker player that I've ever worked with. I've known him, wow, I've never met him in real life, but I've known him since like 2006, something like that. He's got a really sharp, bright poker mind. He's coming back after quite a long hiatus. He took up a job that took up a lot of his time and what have you, and now he's managed to make some time to play poker again, and he's a very good player. I'd imagine he'd be one of the, if not the best player in this pool. Certainly better than me. Although at the moment he's saying he doesn't feel that he is. We have lots of conversations. I think we possibly enlighten each other, but I think he certainly enlightens me more than I enlighten him. Almost certainly. I think he's been a little bit modest, but yeah. It's not good to see him at the tables when I'm there. I'd rather not have people that know me and know my game really well. And who especially players who know my game, know me really well, and actually think are better than me. It's not a good combination. Normally I would think about checking this to a regular, just to protect my checking range a little bit sometimes, but against a fish we're just going to c-bet. Now, given there's a bit of a problem with this weird min raise, can't fold just yet of course. Probably going to fold the turn if he bombs it. I'm going to check this river again, and if he bets small we'll just pay him off. If he bets big, wow, he rivered the flush and he decided not to value bet it. Happy birthday, Razy Daisy Reggie. We'll take that. Not 3-betting the jacks, but it's under the gun. We will be check raising now though. And given there's lots of draws out there, we're going to make it quite big. We're going to make it in the region of like 450, something like that. No action. Just checking down here with the king 9. I think we have showdown value, which we do. Aces. We like aces. We don't like fucking walks with them though. Bollocks. Why give me them party poker if he's gonna fucking walk me with them? Aces again. We like it. Jack 9 suited, kinda loose for me for middle position, but we'll go for it. Do it, Rick. Rick Wilson. Fuck you. So that's a walk and a blind steal with 2 aces. It's hard to make money at poker if you don't make money with your big hands. You know what I mean? If you keep getting aces and you keep getting walks with them and keep just stealing the blinds, you're going to find it hard to have a good win rate. Check your database if you don't believe me. I would venture that over 50% of anyone's profit comes from pocket aces or close to. Check it out. Let me know in the chat below. Don't know why I didn't bet there. Too busy thinking about pocket aces. Let me know what percentage of, in the chat below, let me know what percentage of your overall profits comes from pocket aces. So if you made $5,000 lifetime, let me know how much of that comes from exactly pocket aces, and also pocket kings maybe. Tell me know what percentage you make with aces, what percentage of profit comes from aces, let me know what percentage of profit comes from pocket kings, and then we'll figure out the rest from there. So what we want: pocket aces, net profit as a percentage, pocket kings, profit as a percentage of your overall winnings. I'd be surprised if pocket aces didn't account for over 50% of many people's winnings. Could be wrong. I've been known. Probably going to let the king jack go on table 2 if he barrels the turn big. Raise some and weak type, but I think we can just let the jacks go here. We've got like the 23/8 no sample opening. We've got a 14/11 with no sample 3 betting. Given those 2 pieces of information, I think jacks is kind of close between. Well, yeah, I just think it's a fold actually. It's not close between anything. I just think it's a fold. Yeah. I just think it's a fold. It's irritating because you get the jacks. You're looking forward to playing them, but when there's been a raise and a re-raise in front of you from 2 tightish looking players, I think it's a fold. I think it becomes close when one or both of the players are loose aggressive. I don't think it's close in spots where both players up to now, albeit over small samples, appear to be tight. I mean, these games are just full of fucking regulars. They're not great, but as I covered at the start of the video, I think the state of online poker now is becoming where you just need to maybe, I mean, not you, because maybe you've been doing it for a long time, but I've always focused on game selection for the longest time, and like getting good games, just get the money. That's getting harder and harder to do because there's just less and less fish around, more and more regulars. Regulars, the harder it gets, the lower the win rates get, the more they like multiply themselves, so therefore the ratio between fish and regular gets even worse. And given like the efforts that Party Poker are putting in lately, still I think the software's fucking garbage, but apart from that, and this time bank's fucking absurd. But I think it's one of the best options out there at the moment for micro stakes poker players, for sure. because I think rake back just is something that I haven't bothered about rake back for the longest time, as we talked about earlier. Now it's coming to a point where I think I really need to start considering it as a decent part of my earnings. Because it's just getting harder and harder to have. I mean, I just think that the 8 and 10 big blind win rates are getting close to being a thing of the past. Even in the softest games, like the upper micro stakes. And if that's the case, then I probably need to change my approach and just become a tuppers teak rake back grinder. Don't want to do it. I'm trying to fend it off. Really, I'm trying to fend it off, because poker then becomes more like a job and less like a hobby and fun. But still, even if it does become like a job, it's a better job than most of the ones I've had in my life, apart from the one that I've currently got. If you give me the option of grinding out 25 an L 6 hours a day as a rake back grinder with like a small win rate, as long as I was making like a decent hourly, of course, or you give me the option of going and assessing benefits in an office all day, in a back office, assessing people's benefits, we wouldn't be picking the benefit assessment, that's for sure. It's a really terrible flop for the 7-9, so we're going to just give up, I think. This guy's got a pretty high one-man star flop. We're actually going to go for a check raise with our ACC. Look like we're giving up in a multi-way pot. Oh, bollards, he just didn't go for it. Never mind, it was worth a shot. And now we're just going to try and get some value from middle pairs, I guess. This one-man star flop number is 70. It's really very high, albeit again small sample size. Looks quite aggressive, looks like tight and quite aggressive, so I just wanted to give him a chance to bet. He didn't take it. Never mind. Hopefully now we just get picked off by like pocket 9s or something. Not pocket 9s, pocket 7s. Check raise is going to be pretty sick. Might have to fold. Don't normally make these out, but these videos last for like an hour, but I think it's a special edition just for John. We'll grind it out that one. And your 45 minutes at these tables is quite a lot of hands, because all the time banks annoyingly fast. The fact you can get shit tons of volume in just 2 tabling whilst retaining like pretty decent level of focus it's useful. This guy seems to be folding to a lot of 3 bets, so we'll test him out. WGC Tafo, he snap calls, we get a pretty dry flop. We're just going to have to see bet this because it's dry enough. And obviously we can represent pocket aces, ace king, things like that. If he's just got middle pairs, he's maybe just going to fold. We actually hit the ace, so we're going to try and get to showdown. Kind of worried he's got pocket 8s, ace king, pocket 4s. I think we're going to fold this river for this sizing. 3 bet pot, he folds to a lot of 3 bets, folds to a lot of 3 bets, sorry. He floated that flop and then just gone bomb. And, yeah, it's just going to be a fold, he's 1 pair. Don't think we're going to be good very often at all there. On a wetter board texture, then you could maybe make a case for it, but here's my friend John. He'll enjoy the irony of this. I'm going to take a screenshot of this for him because we often talk about what a great hand King 9 suited is, kind of in jest to each other. And when we do sweats, we tend to like fuck around and overplay the ace king, the King 9 a little bit. So given that it's called for, but I don't expect him to be fucking around there, but he will enjoy He will enjoy the fact I had the king 9 suited when we did it. Which is what I'm waiting with the deuce 4 for. Ace 3 suited under the gun. It's certified 3 bets me here. I think I'm going to go with the 4 bet bluff. Raise with the king 10 here just to hopefully deny equity to Rick Wilson and isolate the cut-off limper. Not the greatest of flops for us. I've noticed these days fucking limpers seem to be like fucking limpets. I think I have to seriously like, especially when I'm out of position to them, like tone down the hands I isolate with and then just make my sizes bigger, because I've been finding a lot on all sites that when people limp and they're going to have position post flop, they're just not going away for like 5x. We might, if we do catch any more today, which it's unlikely because it's party poker, we're not going to find too many people limping. If we do, we'll be able to little fuck around with our sizing, just see what happens if we make it like 7x or 8x. That's what I wanted to do to him, wasn't it? I wanted to, so I can see him easier at the tables. Let's put purple around him so we can just see him easier going forward. Just a bit too small, the 4-6. I don't mind 3 betting some gap suited connectors, but if we start going as low as 4-6, we're going to be overdoing it for sure. So unfortunately we don't have bigger sample sizes on people. We've got our HUD running, of course, but we don't really know much about anybody yet. Start opening the 5s from the cut-off, not from middle position. A little bit nitty, but whatever. Try appeal here. It doesn't look like we've got too many like super active players behind us. And we're going to flop trips, which is not unpleasant. No reason to raise on such a dry board. Looks like he's either giving up or he's pot controlling. Which enrages me now. Look like a complete dick. Yeah, it looks like he's definitely pot controlling to me. Probably with either a queen or an overpair. They're going to force him to pay me. Did he pay then? So fucking quick, who knows? He did pay me with queen 9, so that worked out nice. Very loose open early position, and that's why stats are like unimportant early on. They're okay to indicate like who's a regular, who isn't a regular, but the guy's playing like 18, 16 or whatever, but he's opening queen 9 under the gun, which tells me he probably isn't going to be a natural 18, 16 in in the long term. Ace queen off, we could 3-bet. Doesn't play that well post flop, and against this type of player who looks like might be too loose aggressive, you can sometimes check raise boards like these as a bluff. Backdoor equity, pretty dry, but we have backdoors, overcard, etc. No one excessively loose behind us, so we can try and open the ace-7. Certainly going to see a flop with the 10-9 suited. Flop a kind of weak draw. Not putting too much money in here. Dollar doesn't seem like it's too much. I think we can even check raise versus that side, because on this wet board texture, you'd imagine if you had a really strong hand, you would be wanted to bet more than $1. So we'll see what happens. We'll test him out with the raise. Backdoor flush draw, one overcard on a dry board. Seems worth stabbing at. Turn a legitimate flush draw, and this guy's like 3-betters, which just means he probably really likes his hand. Surprising that he bet a hand he likes so small on such a wet board texture, but whatever. It's unusual, or it feels like it's unusual to me. It feels like people should be like betting bigger with their good hands on wet boards and smaller on dry boards. If he wants to bet small with good hands on dry boards, then that's fine. On wet boards, sorry, because we can just go back and draw cheaply versus him in future. I'm going to check down the ace-7 now. We've made a pair on table 1. And we're going to lose to a5. Very cool, so we know he raises queen 9 suited under the gun. Let's see how he responds to 3-bets. Very deep here with river checkmate, so we're going to be making a bigger than usual 3-bet. Blinds here don't look too active, so I'm going to try and see a flop with the 5-6 suited and flop a flush. Did not need that board pairing. And he bets 170. I'm just going to knit up and just call here. That's why. That was an unfortunate turn of events, but never mind. Again, try and get after these like small opens with some cheap 3-bets. Yep, 4-bet wouldn't let the ace jack go, of course. When you 4-bets to that size. Nah, I still wouldn't let it go. I don't think he's a player that's going to be like 4-bet bluffing too often. In fact, I don't think anyone's 4-bet bluffing very often in micro stakes poker. Really don't. I think it's one of my biggest leaks is overreacting to 4, or like overplaying my hand versus 4-bets sometimes, for sure. I'm not saying people are never doing it, but I don't think it's like a super regular occurrence. I mean, maybe we should call there with the ace jack suited and maybe bluff squeeze with the offsuit variety. Maybe that might be better. Food for thought. I'll try and get a little bit of value now with my queens. Wouldn't be surprised if I get called by a king or something. 2 though, that's what makes it like slightly thin, but not so thin in that pot size that we shouldn't be trying it. Again, if it's offsuit, I think we'll go with the 3-bet suited. I would appeal, I think. We'll go with the 3-bet with the ace 10. I suppose against somebody shaping up to be potentially on the looser side. Now this one is tempting to just jam it in his eye. We have blockers, of course. He looks pretty aggressive. But again, as we talked about earlier, I don't think 4-bet bluffing's that much of a thing that we need to like just go half cocked. I think if someone's like regularly 4-betting the crap out of us, then we need to do something about it, but we're not going to overreact versus unknowns. Lots of aggressive 3-bets behind here, so the 8-9, super easy fold. Quite enjoy getting squeezed at this point rather than play pocket kings out of position in a heavy multi-way pot. It's like the not worst result, isn't it, when you've got 2 kings or 2 aces or anything, just 5 players in the pot. Probably just in check fold mode, to be completely honest. Just like a small bet here, just to make sure people just don't get to suck out on us super cheap if we are in front. Although I'm pretty nervous about the fact if we get any kind of calls, we're likely going to be in roughish shape. I'm just going to check here and hope he checks back and we win. Pocket aces. Wow, that could have been different. Don't know whether I feel annoyed that it dealt me kings versus aces or relieved that I lost the absolute fucking minimum. I think we'll go with the mild annoyance, then broad relief, I think. How did that pot stay to us? I guess the board texture helped it stay small, didn't it? I mean, pre-flop, there should just be a flurry of feathers, shouldn't there? And then he just wins. Thankfully that wasn't the case. %, button open, not enough to make me want to go crazy with the offsuit ace. Against unknowns, I think it's just better to fold most of your range versus 3-bets until you start to know more about them. Squeeze the king 7 suited. Take it down. Feels like a while since we won once, so we'll be grateful for whatever comes our way. And the king queen go versus a big open from someone who hasn't played many hands so far. 3-bet the 10-8 off versus someone who's got 100% open from the small blind so far too. So we've got fish in the big blind, so we just call with the king queen, try and see a flop. Jack queen, sorry. With the king queen off, I think we'll go with a 3-bet. Only 38% from the button, so we're not going to defend the 9-foot. And quite a lot of heavy 3-betters behind there, so we'll let the ace-4 go. He bets pretty big on what's a dry board here. 2 overs, backdoor flush draw. I'm going to go with the raise and see what happens. It should be 3-bets us then. It couldn't be easier for us. If he calls, then we can proceed on aces and hearts probably, and not much else. But hopefully obviously he folds. It's going to be hard for him to 3-bet on this board. I mean, he has, which I think is a big mistake with his entire range. He should just pretty much be flat in his entire range here when he gets 3-bet on this board. I mean, he just doesn't have a 3 very often. It looks like bullshit. I'm tempted to just jam over it, but what if he just is overplaying aces or kings or something and just doesn't want to fold, so we'll let it go. But yeah, that was not, in my opinion, a particularly good spot for him. Unless he was just like re-bluffing, but then re-bluffing with what? Who knows? I think he should just be checking, so calling there his entire continuing range and then looking to play turns, in my opinion. Quite like it when people do that. It's irritating in one way, but in another way I like it because it just makes it really easy for us to get away from our bluffs against what's probably is going to be a strong hand. So if you can hear some irritating car alarm going off, welcome to my fucking world. This car alarm goes off several times per week. It's intensely irritating. I don't think I thought enough to do c-bets either me. I think I'm too busy trying to fuck around a bit too much post-flop. I think I should be a little bit more conservative with my post-flop floats. This guy looks like he 3-bets a lot, but ace-8 suited is just way too strong. If he just 3-bet, there's a not unreasonable chance we'll 4-bet. So here we have been donked into with top pair and a flush draw. Just call and see a turn. I think his range for doing this is either going to be sets or flush draws most of the time, and since we have the flush draw, it's pretty likely he could have a set, but again we just have too much equity to fold here at this point. And we just have to call here. If he's got a flush, then good for him. It's kind of unfortunate. And again, makes a mockery of sample sizes because the guy looked like a complete nit, but then he's turning up with like flushes there in spots where you just really shouldn't. You wouldn't expect him to have like the jack-6 of diamonds, if you will. Check raise to you, which isn't pleasant. I'm going to call and then maybe look to get aggressive on some brick turns. No idea what my buddy's up to here. Kind of unfortunate that the 10-9 gets there on the turn. And you check back and just hope to win against that maybe ace-jack or something like that. Nope, he just has the set. And the session's kind of tailing off pretty miserably. We had nice stacks at both tables at one point, and now I think we've had a losing session basically just to kind of two hands at the end there. They just fucked us, like the flush over flush hand when we had flopped the world against someone, and then when we had the overpair cracked by the set. So it's kind of disappointing end to the session, but it is what it is. $707 hands to loser buy-in. Marvellous. Not 3-bet in the ace queen versus under the gun. So we'll go to sit out next blind. Disappointing end to the session there with the run bad. But what are you going to do? To be fair, I have been running bad now for a good while. I think last time I checked I was like $500 under EV for like the last week or so, which is really kind of quite annoying, but you know, it is what it is. So yeah, that's the end of the session. So then let's just assess the session in Hold'em Manager in the active session replayer. So we'll look at all hands, and yeah, that's the 10-9 that we lost the big pot in. And then we've got like a 20/11 who's, I mean, now who knows, maybe someone's going to tell me that Jack 6 is like a fine defend. Do we need to call it over? And of course we do. Not much we can do about it. Whatever, it is what it is. Not too much sleep over it. Kind of annoying, but shit happens. This is the Ace Jack. This guy 3-bet us. Was it King 10 off he had in the end as well? Obviously he's going to c-bet there. He check calls there. And then check calls out river shove. My King 10 suited. I think his river call's ambitious. I think his turn call's ambitious. His river shove's super ambitious, but whatever. We 3-bet, we c-bet the Ace Queen. Yeah, remember this one now. We have to call the turn, of course, and then when he just like does that on the river, well, I just guess we have to fold there. When he like floats that flop, so when with 3-bet, he's folding to a decent number of 3-bets anyway. Fold to 3-bet 6, 7. It's only 9 sample of 9, which could be a little bit misleading. Well, probably is misleading to an extent, but he's called the 3-bet. It's a dry board. He's called the c-bet. I mean, maybe he's just turning a pair into a bluff, who knows. We check the turn, doesn't like we have an ace, does it? In live play, I remember thinking that he probably says like Ace King or a set when he takes this line. Who knows, maybe he's just got like pocket 6 to turn into a bluff. Who knows? And we won that one. And that was it really, just like the one big pot that we lost, and then we like just dribbled quite a lot away with just like opening, missing. Yeah, pretty standard session. Didn't go too great for us. John, if you want to send me $24.80 anytime soon, I'd appreciate it. If you don't want to, then that's just fine too. Completely up to you, but if you do get a nice premium on the night shift, then do feel free to reward me for my gratifying your night shift with the video. Wrong word, but for, well, whatever. Just give me some fucking money. Okie dokie. Well, so I think we'll leave the video there. I hope you guys got something from it. It was a bit of a shame. It was an okay session till it wasn't, and that's what happens sometimes in poker, doesn't it? So yeah, we'll leave it there. And good luck, guys. And who knows when I'll be back and doing what with the next video. Bye for now.